Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I have a small request for you. Many of you watch our videos but haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Please subscribe, like, and share our content. Your support really motivates us to keep creating more videos. Thank you. I've always liked driving at night. There's something calming about empty roads, especially after a long day. That night felt no different. I had just finished a late shift and decided to take the highway instead of the usual crowded streets. It was quieter, faster, and honestly peaceful. The air was cool when I stepped outside, carrying that faint smell of dust and asphalt after a dry day. My car engine hummed softly as I started it, headlights cutting through the darkness ahead. The city lights slowly faded behind me as I drove farther out, replaced by long stretches of road and scattered street lamps that flickered every few seconds. Inside the car, everything felt normal. The radio played low, just background noise, and my phone sat on the passenger seat, lighting up every now and then with notifications I didn't bother to check. I rolled the window down slightly, letting in a cold breeze that kept me awake. There was almost no traffic, just me, the road, and the occasional distant headlights passing by. At that moment, I remember thinking how quiet everything felt, almost too quiet. But I didn't think much of it. It was just another normal night drive. At some point, I realized I hadn't seen another car in a while. Not behind me, not in front of me, just nothing. It didn't bother me at first. Late night drives can be like that. Empty roads, long silence. But after a few more minutes, it started to feel strange. Even on quiet nights, you usually see someone. A truck, a bike, anything. I adjusted the radio, trying to find a clearer station, but all I got was static. The music that had been playing earlier suddenly cut out, replaced by this low, crackling noise. I frowned and tapped the screen a couple of times. Great, perfect timing, I muttered to myself. I turned it off completely. The silence that followed felt heavier than it should have. The only sound now was the steady hum of the engine and the faint rush of wind through the slightly open window. That's when I noticed the first thing. A car in my rearview mirror. I hadn't seen it approach. It was just there, far behind me at first, its headlights dim but steady. I didn't think much of it. Maybe it had turned onto the highway from somewhere I didn't notice. Still, something about it felt off. The distance between us didn't change. No matter how fast I went, it stayed the same. I pressed the accelerator slightly just to test it. The car behind me didn't get closer, but it didn't fall back either. Okay, I whispered, more to myself than anything else. I tried to ignore it, focusing back on the road ahead. The street lights were getting farther apart now, leaving longer stretches of darkness in between. Every time I passed under one, my car would light up for a second, then fall back into shadow. And each time, I checked the mirror again. Still there. Same distance. Same headlights. A strange thought crossed my mind. What if it's been there the whole time? I shook my head quickly. That didn't make sense. I would have noticed. Right? I adjusted my mirror slightly, trying to get a better look, but the glare from the headlights made it hard to see anything else. Just two bright circles staring back at me. Then something else happened. My phone lit up. I glanced down for a second. No notification sound. Just the screen turning on by itself. For a moment, I thought maybe I accidentally touched it earlier. But then I noticed something that made my stomach tighten a little. There was no new message. No missed call. Nothing at all. The screen just turned on. I reached over and picked it up, staring at it for a second before locking it again. My fingers felt slightly colder than before. Relax, I said quietly. You're just tired. I placed the phone back down and looked up at the road. Dark. Empty. And somehow, it felt longer than it should have been. I checked the mirror again. The car was still there. I tried to calm myself down. It's just a car, I thought. Nothing weird about that. But then the road started to feel wrong. I've been driving for a while now. Longer than usual. This highway should have connected back to the city by now. There should have been signs. Exits. Something. There was nothing. Just the same endless stretch of road. My grip tightened on the steering wheel. Check my phone again. Okay, no
this
signal.
Isn't right.
Of course. I glanced at the mirror. Still there. The headlights looked brighter now. Closer. I hadn't slowed down. So how was it getting closer? My chest started to feel tight. My breathing is shallow. Just pass me then, I muttered under my breath, pressing harder on the accelerator. The engine roared slightly as the speed climbed. 70, 80, 90. The road blurred past me. But the car behind me didn't pass. It stayed. Right there. Then suddenly, a loud bang hit the back of my car. I flinched hard, nearly jerking the wheel. What the hell was that? My heart started pounding so fast it felt like it was in my throat. I looked in the mirror again. For a split second, I thought I saw something else. Not just headlights. Something taller. A shape. Standing in the middle of the road behind me. I blinked. Gone. Just the car again. No. No. I didn't see that. My voice sounded shaky. Not like mine. I ran a hand through my hair, trying to think. Trying to make sense of it. Maybe I hit something. But I didn't feel anything before that. No bump. No warning. Just that sound. I checked my doors. Locked. Checked again. Locked. I don't know why I kept checking. It didn't make sense. I was inside a moving car. No one could just open the door, right? I looked ahead. For a second, I thought I saw a sign. An exit. Finally, relief hit me so fast it almost hurt. I quickly turned the wheel, taking the exit without even slowing down properly. The tires screeched slightly as the car swerved onto the narrow road. It was darker here. No streetlights. Just trees on both sides. And silence. I looked in the mirror one more time. The car followed me. Still there. Still the same distance. Like it never planned to leave. The road kept getting narrower. Trees closed in on both sides, their branches stretching over the car like they were trying to block out the sky. My headlights barely reached ahead anymore. Everything beyond that was just black. I couldn't take it anymore. I slammed the brakes. The car screeched to a stop in the middle of the road. For a second, there was nothing. No sound. No movement. Just my heavy breathing filling the car. Then slowly, I looked up at the mirror. The headlights behind me had stopped too. Closer now. Way too close. My hands were shaking as I reached for the door handle. I don't know why. I shouldn't have. Every part of me was screaming not to. But I did it anyway. I stepped out. Cold air hit me instantly. The silence outside felt wrong. Like the world itself had stopped breathing. The other car's headlights were still on, blinding me. I raised a hand to block the light, squinting as I took a few slow steps forward. "Hello?" I called out. No answer. My voice sounded small. Weak. I moved closer. Step by step. Heart pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. "Do you need help?" I asked again. Still nothing. I reached the front of the car. And that's when I saw it. There was no one inside. Driver's seat. Passenger seat. Empty. My stomach dropped. That's not possible. The engine was still running. Lights still on. But no one was there. Then, a sound. Right behind me. A soft crunch of gravel. I froze. Slowly, painfully slow. I turned around. And my blood ran cold. My car was no longer empty. Something was sitting in the driver's seat. Perfectly still. Its head slightly tilted. Watching me. Through the windshield. It looked like a person. But something about it was wrong. Too still. Too dark. I couldn't see its face. Just the shape. Waiting. For me to come back. I couldn't move. My body just locked. That thing was sitting in my car. In my seat. Watching me like it had been there the whole time. Like it belonged there more than I did. "No," I whispered. My voice barely came out. For a second, I thought maybe I was imagining it. Maybe the darkness was playing tricks on my eyes. Then it moved. Just a little. Its head slowly straightened. Like it had been waiting for me to notice. That was enough. I turned and ran. I didn't think so. I didn't look back. I just ran into the trees, branches scratching my arms, my clothes catching on things I couldn't even see. My heart was racing so fast it felt like I was going to pass out. I don't know how long I ran. Minutes. Maybe longer. But eventually, I stopped. The silence came back again. No footsteps behind me. No sound of a car. Nothing. I stood there trying to catch my breath, slowly turning around. Darkness. Only darkness. And for a moment, I thought I made it out. Until I heard it. A car engine. Right behind me. Soft. Idling. My stomach dropped. I didn't want to turn around. I knew I shouldn't. But something inside me forced me to look. Slowly. I turned my head. Headlights. Blinding. Too close. And through the glare, I saw it again. Sitting in the driver's seat. Perfectly still. Waiting. For me. I don't remember what happened after that. I just know one thing. If you're ever driving alone at night, and you notice a car behind you that never changes distance, don't stop. Because whatever is following you is not trying to pass. I don't usually take late-night drives, but that night, I had no choice. It was around 1 a.m. when I left my cousin's house. We had been sitting for hours, talking, laughing, completely losing track of time. By the time I stepped outside, the neighborhood was dead quiet. Most of the lights were off, and the streets looked empty in a way that felt heavier than usual. The air was colder than I expected. Not freezing, just enough to make me pull my jacket tighter as I walked to my car. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked once, then everything went silent again. I started the engine, and the familiar vibration instantly made me feel a little better. Normal. Safe. Just another drive home. The road I took wasn't the main highway. It was a shortcut I'd used a few times before, long, narrow, and mostly surrounded by empty land. During the day, it looked harmless. Just a quiet road with a few scattered houses far apart from each other. At night, though, it felt different. Still, I didn't think much of it. I turned on the headlights, adjusted my seat, and let some low music play in the background. The soft glow from the dashboard lights filled the car, giving it a warm, familiar feeling. Everything felt normal. Just me, the road, and the quiet night ahead. The first few minutes of the drive felt completely normal. The road stretched ahead in a straight line, my headlights lighting up only a small part of it at a time. On both sides, there was nothing but open land, dark, empty, and quiet. Every now and then, I'd pass a house sitting far back from the road, but most of them had their lights off. I kept my eyes forward, one hand on the wheel, the other resting near the gear. The music played softly, just enough to fill the silence. Then it was cut out. No warning. 1 second it was there, the next it was gone. I frowned and glanced at the screen. The radio was still on, but there was no sound. Just a faint, low static that almost sounded like distant whispering if you focused too hard on it. I quickly switched it off. Probably the signal, I said quietly, even though there shouldn't have been any issue here before. The silence returned, thicker this time. I kept driving. A few seconds later, something caught my eye on the side of the road. A shape. I slowed down just a little, squinting into the darkness. It looked like a car, parked halfway off the road, facing the opposite direction. Its lights were off, completely dark, like it had been abandoned there. "That's weird," I muttered. No hazard lights. No movement. No one was inside, as far as I could tell while passing by. For a moment, I thought about stopping. Maybe someone needed help. But something about it didn't feel right. So I kept going. After a minute or two, I checked my rearview mirror. The road behind me was empty. No car. No lights. Nothing. I let out a small breath, not even realizing I had been holding it. See? Nothing. But then, a flicker. I blinked and looked again. Far behind me, barely visible at first. Headlights. My grip tightened slightly on the steering wheel. That wasn't there before. I kept watching as the lights slowly became clearer. It was the same car. The one I had just passed. It was moving now. "Follow me." I swallowed, trying to stay calm. Okay, maybe they just started driving again. That made sense. It had to. But something didn't sit right. The distance between us didn't change. Not even a little. I sped up slightly. The car behind me did the same. I slowed down. It slowed down too. My chest felt a little tighter now. That's not normal. I looked ahead again, trying to focus, but my attention kept pulling back to the mirror. Every time I checked, it was still there. Same distance. Same steady headlights. Then my phone suddenly buzzed on the passenger seat. I flinched and quickly grabbed it. No number. No name. Just an incoming call. I hesitated for a second, then answered. "Hello." For a moment, there was nothing. Just silence. Then, a faint sound, like breathing. Slow. Uneven. My heart skipped. "Hello? Who is this?" The breathing got louder. Closer. And then the call ended. I slowly lowered the phone, my hand feeling colder than before. And almost without thinking, I looked up at the rearview mirror again. The car behind me was closer now. My hands started to sweat on the steering wheel. "That's not normal. That's not normal," I kept whispering under my breath. The car behind me was definitely closer now. I didn't speed up. I didn't slow down. But it closed the gap anyway. My heart began to pound harder with every second. I glanced at the mirror again. Those headlights felt brighter now, almost blinding, like they were focused only on me. "Just pass me, just go around," I muttered. But it didn't. It stayed directly behind me. Too close. I pressed the accelerator harder. The engine responded, the car picking up speed quickly. The road blurred slightly as I pushed past what I was comfortable with on that narrow stretch. Same speed. Same distance again. Like it was locked onto me. Stop, please just stop. My voice is shaking now. Then suddenly, my headlights flickered. Once. Twice. And then went completely out. Everything went black. No! I slammed my foot on the brakes instinctively. The car jerked slightly as it slowed down, tires scraping against the rough road. My breathing went wild. I couldn't see anything. Just darkness pressing in from all sides. Then, the headlights came back. But something was wrong. Very wrong. I wasn't on the road anymore. My car was slightly turned, facing off to the side, toward the open land. How? I didn't remember turning. I didn't remember moving off the road at all. My chest tightened painfully as I looked around. And that's when I saw it. The car behind me wasn't behind me anymore. It was in front, parked just a few feet away, facing me, its headlights blasting straight into my windshield. No, that's not possible. My voice cracked. I hadn't passed it. There was no way. There was only one road. Only one direction. My hands shook violently as I fumbled for the door lock, pressing it again and again, even though I knew it was already locked. Think. But I couldn't. My mind felt blank. Frozen. Then, the driver's side door of that car slowly creaked open. A long, painful sound cutting through the silence. I stopped breathing, waiting, watching, but no one stepped out. The door just stayed open, wide, like it was inviting me to come closer. I couldn't look away. The door of that car stayed open, unmoving, like it was waiting for something. For me. No, I'm not doing this, I whispered, shaking my head. My hands searched for the gear, ready to reverse, to get out of there, anything. But before I could move, the inside light of the other car turned on, dim yellow, and that's when I saw it. Someone was already sitting in the driver's seat. My stomach dropped so fast it felt like I was falling. They hadn't stepped out. They had been there the whole time, perfectly still. Their hands rested on the steering wheel, but their head was turned slightly toward me. Watching. What the hell? I couldn't see their faces clearly. It was too dark, a shadow covering everything, but I could feel it. Their eyes, locked onto mine. Then, they moved. Slow. Unnatural. Their heads tilted further, bending at an angle that didn't look right. Too far. Like something inside their neck had snapped. I gasped, my back pressing hard against the seat. No. My hand slipped as I tried to shift into reverse. And then, the headlights of my car flickered again. Once. Twice. And in that split second of darkness, something slammed against my window. Right next to me. I screamed and turned. There was a face pressed against the glass. Pale. Smiling. Too wide. Eyes open, too wide, unblinking. Breathing fog against the window. I froze. I couldn't move. Couldn't even scream again. Because I recognized something that made it worse. The face. It looked exactly like me. And as my headlights came back on fully, the thing in the other car was gone. I don't remember how I got home. I just know that at some point, I was there, parked outside my house. The engine is still running. Hands still gripping the wheel so tight they hurt. For a long time, I didn't move. I just sat there, staring straight ahead, trying to slow my breathing, trying to understand what just happened. It wasn't real, I whispered. It couldn't have been real. But even as I said it, I didn't believe it. Eventually, I forced myself to step out of the car. My legs felt weak, like they didn't belong to me. The night around my house felt normal again. Quiet. Safe. Too normal. I locked the car quickly and went inside without looking back. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that face. My face. Pressed against the glass. Smiling. After a few days, I tried to convince myself it was just stress. Lack of sleep. My mind is playing tricks on me. So I went back to my routine. Work. Home. Normal life. And for a while, it worked. Until yesterday. I was driving again. Not at night this time. Middle of the day. Busy road. People everywhere. I almost felt stupid for being scared. Then I stopped at a red light. And without thinking, I glanced at my rearview mirror. My heart stopped. For a second, I wasn't alone in the car. Something was sitting in the back seat. Perfectly still. Watching me. I turned around instantly. Nothing. Empty. When I looked back at the mirror, I saw my own reflection. But it didn't look away. It kept staring. And slowly, it started to smile. It was supposed to be a normal work trip. I had to drive to the next town for a small assignment my boss gave me. Nothing special. Just a few hours on the road, finish the work, and come back before morning. I've done trips like this many times before, so I didn't think much of it. I left just after sunset. The sky was still a little bright when I started, slowly turning darker as I drove farther away from the city. The traffic faded behind me, replaced by long, empty roads surrounded by dry fields and scattered trees. My car felt comfortable, familiar, the kind of space where I usually relax. I had a bottle of water in the cup holder, my phone on silent, and low music playing in the background just to keep me awake. The highway ahead looked endless, lit by soft yellow streetlights that stretched far into the distance. Every few minutes, I would pass a road sign or an empty roadside shop with its lights off. Everything felt normal, calm even. I remember thinking how easy this trip was going to be. Just me, the road, and a few quiet hours of driving. No stress, no interruptions, just another simple night on the highway. At first, everything really did feel normal. The highway was smooth, and I was having a good time. The music was soft in the background, just enough to keep me from feeling sleepy. Every now and then I would sip my water and adjust my seat slightly, getting comfortable for the long drive ahead. But after a while, I noticed something. I hadn't passed a single car in a long time. Not one. At night, that can happen, sure. But this wasn't even that late yet. There should have been trucks, buses, at least some headlights in the distance. But the road ahead stayed empty. And the road behind me felt even emptier. I checked my mirror once. Nothing. Just darkness and the faint reflection of my own headlights. Okay, maybe I'm just in a quiet stretch, I said to myself. Still, I turned the music up a little. A few minutes later, it cut out. Not slowly. Not like a glitch. Just gone. I frowned and tapped the screen. The display was still on, but the sound was completely dead. No radio. No Bluetooth. Just a strange, low hum of static that came and went like breathing. I turned it off. The silence that followed felt heavier than before. The kind of silence that makes you aware of every small sound. Your breathing, the tires on the road, even the blink of your eyes. Then I noticed the road signs. They started repeating. I passed the same warning sign twice. At least. I think it was the same one. Detour ahead, it said. But I had already passed it 10 minutes ago. I slowed down slightly, trying to make sense of it. That doesn't make sense. I checked my GPS. The screen was still on, but the map wasn't updating properly. My little blue arrow just sat there frozen, like I wasn't moving at all. I laughed a little nervously. Come on, don't do this now. Then my phone buzzed. Once. I picked it up quickly. No message. Just a notification that said, "No route found." I stared at it. No route found? What does that even mean? I looked up at the road again, and that's when I felt it. A strange pressure in my chest. Like the road wasn't going forward anymore. Like I was just going in circles without realizing it. I slowed down a little more. Then I checked the mirror. For the first time, there was a pair of headlights behind me. My stomach tightened the moment I saw those headlights. They weren't there before. I stared at the mirror longer than I should have. The lights were steady, directly behind me. No swerving, no overtaking, no change in distance. Just following. I tried to stay calm. It's just a car, I told myself. Someone else on the road. But even as I said it, something inside me didn't agree. I pressed the accelerator slightly. The car moved faster. The headlights behind me did too. I slowed down. They slowed down. My breath got stuck in my throat. No, that's not normal. I looked forward to it again. The road still stretched endlessly, but now it didn't feel like I was going somewhere. It felt like I was stuck on something repeating. Same trees. Same signs. Same empty stretch. My grip on the steering wheel tightened so hard my knuckles started to hurt. Then I saw something that made my heart drop. A road sign ahead. Next town, 2 kilometers. Relief hit me for a second. Finally. But I had already passed a sign like that earlier. I was sure of it. My mind started racing. Okay, maybe I missed a turn. Maybe I'm just tired. Then the radio turned on by itself. Static filled the car. Something trying to form not random words. Static. I quickly turned it off again, breathing faster now. And then, my headlights flickered. Once. Twice. The car dipped into darkness for a split second. When the lights came back, the road ahead was different. The trees were gone. Now it was just open ground on both sides. Flat. Empty. Like I wasn't on a highway anymore. What is happening? My voice cracked. I checked the mirror again. The headlights behind me were closer now. Too close. I pressed the accelerator harder. But the engine didn't respond the same way. It felt weak, like something was holding the car back. Then, a loud knocking sound came from the trunk. Thump. My whole body jerked. I looked back instantly. Nothing visible. But the sound came again. Thump. Thump. Slow. Deliberate. I swallowed hard, my hands shaking uncontrollably now. No, there's no way. I wasn't alone in this car anymore. I could feel it. Something was inside. And it wasn't behind me on the road anymore. It was already with me. The knocking from the trunk didn't stop. Thump. 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 Each hit felt louder than the last, like whatever was inside was waking up properly. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost lost control of the steering wheel. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. I kept repeating to myself. But then, the car suddenly slowed down on its own. My foot was still on the accelerator, but the speed dropped anyway. No. I pressed harder. Nothing. The engine sounded strained, like it was struggling against something invisible. And then the headlights behind me disappeared. Just like that. Gone. I looked at the mirror, confused for half a second. And that's when everything changed. The road ahead ended. Not into another highway. Not into a turn. It just stopped, like the world had been cut off. I slammed the brakes, but it was too late. The car rolled to a stop at the edge of a dark, empty stretch of ground. No road markings. No signs. Nothing. Just black space ahead. My breathing turned rapid. What is this place? The knocking stopped. Silence. Complete silence. Then, my driver's side window slowly fogged up from the outside. Something was breathing there. Close. Too close. I couldn't see it clearly at first. Just a shadow pressed against the glass. Then it leaned closer, and a face slowly formed in the fog. Not fully human. Wrong proportions. Too stretched. And yet, familiar in a way that made my stomach twist. It tilted its head slightly, like it was studying me. Then it smiled. And inside my head, clear as day, I heard my own voice say, "You're finally here." I froze. "I didn't say that," I whispered. The thing outside didn't move. It just kept smiling through the glass. And then it knocked once on the window. Slow. Deliberate. As if inviting me out. I don't remember getting out of the car. Or maybe I never did. The next thing I remember clearly is sitting behind the steering wheel again, my hands resting lightly instead of gripping tightly. The engine was off. The silence around me felt normal again. Like nothing had happened. I slowly looked around. The road was back. The highway. Street lights glowing softly in the distance. The same familiar stretch I had been driving on earlier. No empty void. No strange ending. Just road. My breathing was uneven. My throat felt dry. I checked the mirror immediately. Empty. No headlights behind me. Nothing. For a moment, I almost laughed in relief. Okay, it was just tiredness, I whispered. Just stress. That's all. I leaned back in my seat, trying to calm myself down. But then I noticed something. The clock on my dashboard. It was wrong. Completely wrong. It showed I had only been driving for 12 minutes. But I knew. I had been on that road for hours. My phone suddenly lit up beside me. No signal. No notifications. Just a single saved voice note. I didn't remember recording anything. My fingers shook as I pressed play. At first, only static. Then a faint sound. Breathing. Slow. Then my own voice. Very soft. Very close. Saying, "Don't look behind you." I froze. The phone slipped slightly from my hand. And in the reflection of the black screen, I saw something sitting in the back seat. Still. Waiting. But when I turned around quickly, there was nothing there. Only empty space. And yet, I could still feel it. Watching me. Even now. Even as I write this. Because I know one thing for sure. That road didn't let me leave. It just learned how to come back with me. I never believed those stories people told about bad roads or cursed routes. To me, it was always just superstition. Roads are roads. You drive, you reach your destination, and that's it. That's why I didn't think twice before taking the shortcut that night. It was late, probably around 11:30 p.m., when I left the small town where I had been visiting a friend. I could have taken the main highway, but it would have added almost an extra hour to my trip. I was tired, and honestly, I just wanted to get home quickly. The shortcut was a narrow road that cut through farmland and forest edges. I had seen it on maps before, but never really used it at night. During the day, it looked simple enough, just a straight road with fewer cars and less traffic. The air outside was cool when I started driving. My windows were slightly rolled down, and I could smell fresh earth mixed with dry grass. My headlights lit up the empty road ahead, and for the first few minutes, everything felt completely normal. My phone was connected to the car, playing soft music. I kept one hand on the steering wheel, the other resting near the gear shift, just relaxing into the drive. There were no cars in front of me, no cars behind me, just me, the road, and the quiet night stretching out ahead. It felt peaceful, almost too peaceful. But at that moment, I didn't think anything of it. I just kept driving forward. At first, the silence was comforting. The road was smooth, and my car moved steadily forward. The music played softly through the speakers, and I found myself relaxing more than I should have. After a long day, this quiet drive almost felt like a break from everything. But then, things started to feel slightly off. I noticed I hadn't seen a single car in a long time. Not even headlights in the distance. That wasn't unusual at this hour, but this felt different. Even the occasional truck or motorbike was missing completely. The road itself felt too empty, too still. I turned the volume down a little, just to make sure I wasn't imagining things. That's when the music glitched. It didn't fade out or stop normally. It just skipped, like a broken file. Then a second later, it came back, but slightly distorted, like it was playing in the wrong space. I frowned. Probably a bad signal, I said to myself. But there was no signal involved. It was offline music. I reached for my phone anyway, checking it. Everything looked normal. Battery fine. The app is running fine. No warnings. Still, I turned the music off. The silence that followed felt heavier. Then I saw something ahead. A figure. Standing on the side of the road. I slowed down slightly, squinting through the windshield. It looked like a person, just standing there near the edge of the road, facing away from me. Completely still. No way, I muttered. What is someone doing out here? The road around this area was empty farmland. No houses nearby. No streetlights except the ones far behind me. As I got closer, I debated whether to stop. Maybe they needed help. But something inside me felt uncomfortable. Not fear exactly, just wrongness. Like the situation didn't belong in this place. I slowed down anyway. My headlights passed over the figure, and for a split second, I saw it more clearly. It was a man, or at least it looked like one, standing perfectly straight, but his head was tilted slightly upward, like he was staring at something above the road. Then my headlights moved past him, and in the rearview mirror, he was gone. I quickly looked forward again. Empty road. No, he didn't just disappear, I said under my breath. My grip tightened on the wheel. I checked the mirror again. Nothing behind me. Just darkness. I forced myself to laugh a little, trying to shake it off. Okay, you're just tired. That's all. But then my phone lit up on the passenger seat. No notification sound. Just a single message preview. Don't stop here. I froze. My car was still moving forward. And ahead, the road started getting darker. I didn't stop reading the message. I just kept staring at it. Don't stop here. My mouth went dry. That's not funny, I whispered, even though I knew no one was joking. I looked up at the road again. It was darker now. Not just night dark. Something else. The headlights didn't seem to reach as far as they should have. Like the road ahead was swallowing the light. My foot stayed on the accelerator, but I didn't feel like I was moving normally anymore. It felt delayed. Like the car was reacting slower than my movements. I checked the rearview mirror. Nothing. Still nothing behind me. But the silence in the car felt different now. Heavier. Pressing against my ears. Then the radio turned on by itself. Static. Loud this time. Too loud. I quickly reached to turn it off, but before I could, a voice came through. Not clear. Not fully formed. Just fragments. Don't stop. I jerked my hand back. What the hell? I turned it off immediately, breathing faster now. My heart was starting to pound in a way I couldn't control. Then I saw the road sign ahead. A wooden sign. Old. Half broken. It wasn't there a second ago. As I got closer, my headlights revealed the words slowly. No turning back. I blinked. No turning back. That wasn't here before. My voice cracked slightly. I checked the GPS on my phone. The map was gone. Not frozen. Gone. Just a blank screen with a single word. Offline. I let out a shaky breath. Okay, calm down. But I wasn't calm. Not even close. Then the car started slowing down on its own. What? No. I pressed the accelerator harder. Nothing. The engine was still running, but it felt like something was resisting it. Like the car didn't want to move forward anymore. The headlights flickered. Once. Twice. And for a split second, everything outside went completely black. When the lights came back, the road was no longer straight. My breathing stopped for a moment, like it was looping. I've been here before. And then I saw it again. The same figure from earlier, standing on the side of the road. But this time, it was facing me. I slammed the brakes. The tires screeched against the road, and my car jolted forward before stopping completely. My chest felt like it was going to explode. The figure was still there, but now it was closer. Too close. It stood right in the middle of the road, blocking everything ahead. My headlights hit it fully this time, and I wish they hadn't. It looked like a man at first, but the longer I stared, the more wrong it became. Its limbs were too long, hanging slightly out of proportion. Its shoulders were uneven, like something inside it wasn't aligned properly. And its head was tilted in a way that didn't match its body at all. Then it moved. Not walking, just shifting forward. One slow step, then another. My hands were shaking violently on the steering wheel. Stay back, I whispered. Just stay back. But it didn't stop. It kept coming closer. And then I noticed something worse. It wasn't making any sound. No footsteps. No rustle of clothes. Nothing. Just silence filling the space around it. My car door locks clicked on their own. I jumped. What? No. The figure stopped right in front of my hood. So close I could see the reflection of my headlights in its eyes. Except there weren't really eyes. Just dark, empty shapes that seemed deeper than they should be. Then it leaned down slightly. And the voice came from outside my car, but also inside my head at the same time. You took the wrong road. My breath caught in my throat. It tilted its head further. And for a second, I saw my own reflection in it. Smiling. Not me. Something is wearing me. Then the figure raised one hand and placed it gently on my windshield. And everything around me went silent. Even my heartbeat felt like it stopped. I don't know how long I sat there. Seconds. Minutes. Maybe longer. The hand on my windshield was gone when I finally blinked. The figure was gone too. No footsteps. No movement. Just an empty road ahead like nothing had ever been there. But I couldn't move. My body felt frozen, like my muscles had forgotten how to work. Then suddenly, the car started again. Not by me. The engine turned on softly, like someone had carefully restarted it. The headlights brightened, pointing straight ahead down the road. The same road. But now it feels different. Like it was waiting. I slowly pressed the accelerator, my hands still trembling. The car moved forward without hesitation. No more glitches. No more warnings. No more figures. Just silence. After a few minutes, I reached a familiar junction. A road sign appeared clearly this time, pointing toward the main highway. Everything looked normal again. Almost too normal. Streetlights. Real houses in the distance. Other cars passed far away. I pulled over at a small roadside stop and turned the engine off immediately. I sat there, staring at my hands. They were shaking. I kept telling myself it was stressful. Fatigue. Maybe I had hallucinated the whole thing. But then I noticed something on my windshield. A faint mark. Like a handprint. But not on the outside. On the inside glass. I touched it. Cold. I quickly pulled my hand back. My phone buzzed again. Just one message. From an unknown number. You made it back. I looked up at the road ahead. Everything seemed normal. But when I checked my rearview mirror, for just a second, I saw the same figure sitting in the back seat. Already facing forward. Already waiting for the next drive.